Come join us for the Mynydd Bedwellty Ministry Area Pilgrimage. Our first stop was St George's in Tredegar. We had our first pilgrim, which was this sheep outside the door. St George was known for defeating a dragon. He was from Turkey, and he was actually martyred for refusing to reject the faith. St George reminds us that in the face of anything, to stay holding on to Jesus. And here are our pilgrims gathering, ready to go on the pilgrimage, a journey, an intentional journey with God. As we head off, we headed up through Brimbat Park in Tredegar. And to be honest, we're all doing really well. Everyone's feeling good about the journey and looking forward to what's ahead. We even saw this little baby frog too. It was absolutely beautiful and still, being God's creation. Even though it's a man-made lake, it's beautiful just to be around nature. We had prayers along the way too at each church for our communities and for each other, that God may be with us on the journey and may reveal things to us. Like, it's okay to get lost. I'll be fair, I did lead us all astray a little bit, and we had to walk down another path because I forgot where I was slightly going. But that is life. Sometimes we go a wrong way and we turn about. And it doesn't matter if we go a wrong way, because God is still with us too. And here we are in Rhymney, the top end, walking through some of the houses. There is St David's Church in the distance. David's Church stand on the High Street for over 180 years, and St David is someone who lived a simple life, the patron saint of Wales, who on his deathbed said to do the little things that he did. And we're reminded in the life of St David to do the little things, to show God's love, like the people of St David's did for us, feeding us all. We headed off from St David's through to Abertysswg. Rhymney sometimes also has an bad reputation, and walking through you get to see actually what's beautiful there, the architecture and the people. On a pilgrimage, you're doing something special and praying while other people are doing other things as well, like these kids on dirt bikes, which I loved. And when we arrived in Abertysswg, we were greeted warmly at St Paul's Church. St Paul was known to be a persecutor of the Christians and had a complete life change. And St Paul teaches us the importance of forgiveness and turning our life to God no matter where we are, and to listen to him too. There's a lovely St Paul's on the underneath, and all the lovely people there giving us tea and biscuits. And we headed off St Paul's over an old train track which had been restored for nature and for people to use. So it was a lovely journey, this bit. And it was in good spirits as well. And there's me with my tannoy, the stick I was using to record people. But it was a much easier route than getting over from Tredegar to Rhymney. New Tredegar, you can see the population starting to build up again from the emptiness of where we were walking through the old train line. And here is the lovely St Dingat's Church. And if you visit St Dingat's Church in New Tredegar, you'll probably see one of my favourite stained glass windows ever, which is on the west end of the church, and it's of the nativity of Jesus' birth in a huge display with all of the characters surrounding. St Dingat was a child of Brecon Breciniog, who was a king of Brecon. That king had many children who were saints, and St Dingat was one of them, and his legacy, not so much known, is of their children, of passing on the faith, how important it is to do that too. And there's St Dingat, who fed us so wonderfully with some lovely soup before we headed off, which was much needed rest, because we were just about to go up a very, very steep hill to our final destination. Still feeling good about the walk, and we had some people join us and some people who leave us, and that was the whole point of the pilgrimage, to be something we do together as a ministry area, not just something which you have to do. There was lots of opportunities online, and also to join in at home with the prayers and the thoughts of all the people. It starts to get steep now, and you can really feel the burn. I particularly love this bit. I must say, we had some wonderful people following us, like Rob, who kept a safety car for us for people to jump in if needed. Pilgrimages are a great time to stop and see, and I took this time to look at the beauty that is in the valleys, not just to drive past quickly on the way to something, but really take in all the good that is there, all the people, all the good conversations, all the things you miss, like this lovely huddled set of cows. All the simplicity of a dry stone wall and this beauty, which led us nicely to St Sannan's. St Sannan's has been a place of celebrating life, death and everything in between, and it was a place where St Sannan lived, and without him we wouldn't have a place for the community, a place for knowing God's love throughout generations. And there's us waving at a final cake stop. St Sannan reminds us of the importance of being in place, and how we can show God's love through quiet commitment to loving an area and loving a people who live there, through births, deaths and marriages and everything in between. And we walk down now to St Sannan's Holy Well. It's a very simple design, but it's absolutely beautiful to know there's been a place of refreshing for probably over millennia. There's this beautiful iron cross there. That's where we met all our pilgrims. And here is the well. We're reminded of God's refreshing and keeping for us. There's everybody waving us hello, and waving at the end of the long journey, 10 miles in total. 10 miles praying for our communities, reminding ourselves of the saints, and celebrating together at the end with a lovely meal of chili. This pilgrimage was lovely, to gather together, to journey together, to pray for our communities, to remember the saints who make up our churches, and to pray for God's blessing on all the people who live within the ministry area. That's what God has in store for us too. I absolutely adored this trip. It was so tiring but so rewarding, as we managed to see so many people and sharing God's love for us all.